Live from my mother's basement somewhere in Nashville, Tennessee, it's the Podunk Polymath Podcast, a podcast dedicated to the sentiments of the secular, sarcastic, screwed up Southern SJW and skeptic. I'm your host, Chris. Mosey on in. This is episode 77 of the Big Triple Po. Hope you all doing okay. Had a great week. This is an odd show because it's on a Thursday, but that's the only time my guest could do anything because apparently he's an old man, even though he's about the same age I am. I don't have any housekeeping this week, so we're going to get right to it. If you will join me in welcoming my friend, my compadre, my confidant, Zach Law. How's it going, Zach?
Well, thanks for having me on. Yeah, there's something about the weekend shows that just don't... I think I've been on like two of yours, but over the years, the anniversary, which was like a year ago.
Yeah, it's about a year.
My liver still remembers that one, and another one. And yeah, just weeknights are nice. Not too late because I am old. I think Chris and I are like the same age, almost exactly, which is crazy.
Yeah,
your beard makes you mature. I think
it's the beard. It's the beard. It absorbs more alcohol. That's why I can drink.
That would be good. I could use that.
So Zach, how's it going, man?
It's going good. So let's see. I am at double your episodes plus one because I just did 155 this week. I know. I actually did a couple. I had to do a double episode one week because we talked for an hour and a half. But yeah, it's been pretty good. I'm depressed about politics, which is kind of typical. I saw Tucker posted in Facebook something about voting in Tennessee. I was like, what kind of vote happened in Tennessee recently? Is there a lot of these runoff type elections right now?
No, it's primaries for governor, and I don't even live in Davidson County. I live in Williamson County, which is outside. Yeah, and it's Republican.
So Davidson's like the main...
That's Nashville.
Inner, like Nashville, Williamson. I just remember when I grew up, because I lived in Nashville in like middle school, that we had to go. One of the counties like sold fireworks for like 2 weeks around 4th of July. So we had to like drive 10 miles to go across the border to spend all our money on that. Okay, Jeannie's asking about our age. Of course, this is your show. It's up to you if you want to say. I am Obama years old, 44. So there you go.
I will be 45 August 23rd. 3 weeks.
Are people allowed to vote in Tennessee? Yeah, exactly. No, in Georgia, we had a runoff for the Republican nomination, and the guy who won was like the Secretary of State, and he basically just like, it was a total disaster. Like, we have those, you probably have the same thing. We have like the voting machines that are like Windows 98, and they're like, so I think a 4th grader could hack them. And they're like, maybe we should do paper ballots this time. We're like, no, we're good. We're good. So, yeah, that's what we got here. We do have a woman running, Stacey Abrams, who would be the first black woman to be governor in a state. And I don't know, every time for like 5 minutes, we thought maybe Hillary had a chance in Georgia. But there was this magical, like, I think after like Bill Clinton won, Georgia was like, fuck that. And it's been very, very red ever since.
I just saw a strange comment pop up.
Ben, someone named Ben, yeah.
Yeah. Who else thinks capitalism is
socialism? You sure it's not Dan Harrell sneaking on your board? No, he would come.
He wouldn't use emoticons.
He would not.
No, he's too name. He'd be saying guillotine, and
he would probably say socialism is kind of like centrist.
Yeah, centrist, yeah. Unless you're chopping off people's heads and whatever. Anyway, who else thinks capitalism is going to collapse in our lifetimes? No. Maybe we should socialism. Yeah, we should try socialism, but that ain't going to happen. So,
I mean, why? A combination. We have socialism for the rich and capitalism for the poor. Yeah, just look at the National Football League. It's like basically every team's guaranteed to make a ton of money. And then they pretend they're like capitalists because they make their own little local deals to make a few extra bucks. But they're all like guaranteed. They've set it up where they're all going to make a lot of money.
And they have an exemption or something. Antitrust exemption.
I think
or is that baseball?
Did something to overturn that just because they knew they were going to mess with it. But yeah, we do assume a lot in America has been around forever, like the national anthem at football games. Like it's been like 9/11 time when it started. And it's the military paying the NFL, and people don't seem to like care about that. It's like they're getting paid to do this. This isn't like something we've done because George Washington was like listening to the national anthem before he crossed the Potomac, that kind of thing. That's not what happens. And I'm a little intrigued that by accident I'm now going to like 3 Tennessee Titans games this year, and I'm kind of wondering what the pregame's gonna be like with all that. So yeah. Oh, your beard looks tidy.
Who said that? Oh, whatever.
You're kempt. You're not unkempt. You are the opposite. See, look at that.
Is that a word? Kempt?
Congratulations. I don't know.
Anyway,
it's 8:30 on Thursday night.
So about the election, I'm glad you brought that up. There's a couple of things. Tennessee, like I said, here in Williamson, they're all Republican unopposed. Just about the only one that looked even close. Well, it's the Democratic primary and the Republican primary for governor. Carl Dean is the presumed nominee for the Democratic governor primary, which he's a former mayor of Nash Vegas. Phil Bredesen, who was both mayor and governor of Tennessee, mayor of Nashville and governor of Tennessee, is running for U.S. Senate against my least. Well, see, I don't know yet. Republican primary has yet, but Marcia Blackburn, who I hate with a fiery passion, she is actually my representative in Redneck Williamson, or I should say Super Red Williamson. And I have actually heard the centrist Republicans don't want shit to do with her and talking about voting for Bredesen. So, because she's too much, even for them. So, I like the chances for both Democrats on that one.
I wonder if it's just all feels like it's on the verge of collapse. Like before the presidential election, everybody said that the Republican Party was dead, and then Donald Trump won, so the corpse kept walking, and the Democratic Party became dead, and it kind of is. But I heard people were basically getting paid to show up to Trump rallies, which that makes sense to me. But
it worked.
It's a sputtering situation that anytime like a Democratic socialist wins, people just freak the hell out. Like they can't handle the word socialism. It's like we have a lot of socialism in this country and it's been good. And we're trying to take it apart. Like, do you notice that there was a story out this week about how Medicare for all, like basically everybody gets healthcare, is going to cost like 32 trillion, some crazy number that someone probably just pulled out of their ass. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's so expensive. And then like we just, including like half the Democrats, just passed like $800 billion for our defense. No one even like bats an eyelash for that.
Yeah.
So it's always progressive things that if people like, oh, how do we pay for it? But if it's like, we're just going to bomb everybody in the world that we don't like who doesn't have nuclear weapons. All right, we got that.
Yeah, we can't pay for fucking Medicare for all, but we can pay for backing fucking, regimes that are killing innocent civilians and shit. Which includes Israel. Okay, let me go ahead and tell you that right now. But, what now?
Israel, you're in trouble now.
I'm fucked now, man. It's Semitic. Whatever.
I think
anyway.
That's proof that any side, if they have too much power, that just ends poorly. It seems like Israel just keeps going more and more right wing, and people are like, well, they're Jewish, which is sort of Christian, so we like them. And
yeah, the only reason Christians like them in this country is because they think they're going to build the second temple and bring on the fucking the apocalypse, where all the Jews, incidentally, according to Christian dogma, are going to have to repent or go to hell. So. Yeah,
they're probably mad that they came up with all these stories. Like, shit, man, we just made this stuff up. We don't even believe it. And like, they're like, no, it's the basis of our religion. And then the Muslims are like, us too. And the Mormons, us too.
Oh, what? Oh, you mentioned the 32 trillion thing from Medicare for all, and actually, I read up on that a little bit. It's a study that came out from a libertarian I want to say think tank. I can't remember, which is interesting actually. But yes, and this is what pissed me off, and somebody pointed out, was that the AP put out that number, 32 trillion. What they didn't mention in the headline was that it was going to save like some ridiculous amount of money. I can't remember exactly, but it was pretty significant against what's being spent now. They didn't leave to put that part in. So that was irresponsible. And, AP is supposed to be, creme de la creme of, objective media.
How often do you hear stories about people doing GoFundMe's because they end up in the hospital and they had to get like an appendectomy, and it's like, oh, I have $30,000 all of a sudden. Like I had a minor, trip to the hospital almost 17 years ago, and the raw bill was going to be like $250,000. So good thing I had insurance. And I still think now, I'm like, wow, if this happened now, I would have had to pay like 10 times as much.
Yeah, it's completely fucked.
Do you really want a situation for freedom where you can basically go bankrupt if you get sick? It seems bad. I don't know. I don't know why we haven't all rushed the border and are living on Deb's couch in Canada, or moving in with Corey Johnson. Hey, brainstorm guys, we're coming in.
No, I don't want Regina.
Not him.
They can have Regina. I don't want that. Toronto. I know big gay Dave's in Toronto. Maybe I can crash with him.
Hey, Dave. There you go. Whatever it takes. Just I think the more we get through this, the more. I had a friend on who moved to Uruguay a couple of years ago, and it's like, you can't get great electronics, and it sounds like you can't get peanut butter, but otherwise, healthcare is covered.
Peanut butter.
Pet goat. What's wrong with the pet goat? Seems awesome.
No, they grow more. You don't have to mow the grass.
They have a good soccer team. They have 1/100th our population. Yeah,
that's because all they do. I mean, this country's too big anyway.
True that.
It needs to be let the South secede. Let me get out first, though.
But I'm impressed. You're a guy in Tennessee, and you said you read, so that's you're ahead of the crowd right there.
Yeah, I'm. The guy in Texas. Have you heard about him? Beta O'Rourke or something?
Go against Ted Cruz.
Yeah, but he's actually within a couple of points now, and that's pretty amazing.
It's so hard to tell how this next thing's gonna go, just because there's been this push. The evangelicals are gonna show up no matter what. Really need to just get all the old people voting, and
this is the problem. This is what I'm saying. I mean, these establishment Democrats keep playing the same fucking people over and over again, thinking that it's going to change. And their thing is, well, progressive Democrats can never win. So we're just going to keep pushing the same old ass establishment Democrats. Well, look what happens when you actually put forth somebody who's more progressive. I mean, fuck, this guy's within a couple of points of fucking Ted Cruz. Will he win? I don't fucking know, but he's pretty fucking close. And what about Cortez in New York or whatever? So this shit's possible, but they keep fucking. It seems they're undermining the progressive candidates, I think, and there's going to have to be some sort of major sea change. Well, all these old people are going to have to die, is what's going to happen. Basically,
you want the enthusiasm. You almost want fewer people, but if they're really, really enthusiastic, they're going to get other people to vote. I did a bit this week where there's a speech from Robert Kennedy just about how. And it's amazing, you hear him talk, and he's got this super Massachusetts accent, and he's got people all over the country just super excited about the message. And why can't we get that from someone who isn't 87 years old? I mean, I know people got worked up about Bernie, but isn't there a version of Bernie who's 52?
Yes.
The age of all of the people that are getting nominated by the Republicans to be in the Supreme Court. As the joke, in the Skeptocrat, it's they're 48 years old and they run a triathlon every day. And it's yes, we need that, but for someone who actually likes humanity, that'd be great.
Yeah, I don't, nobody, Bernie needs to go away. I'm sorry. He talked about running. No, he's too, for one thing.
And, well, I mean, Hillary, I don't think we'll see her again just because she's set.
Don't tell the Republicans that because they keep using her as a fucking.
Yeah, I know. I was at a bookstore today, and it was like a book was out about how the Mueller thing was just trying to get Hillary out of.
What? She didn't win.
It's like if Hillary was anywhere close to breaking the law, don't you think she would have been like somewhere close to going to like Manafort is currently in trial. Hillary Clinton has never gotten to that point, even close. So
they grilled her ass.
And everything Hillary's been accused of, Donald Trump actually did and is going to do. He's like, sell uranium to the Russians. I like that.
Sounds good.
I like that. Nice.
Well, I mean, they grilled her for how long? There wasn't one.
Like 11 hours.
One thing. They didn't find one thing, but Mueller has found like, how many people is he already indicted? You know, I mean, that's a little suspicious.
A bunch of people have been arrested. Yeah.
But of course,
an outsider who's not really an outsider, and then all the criminals around the world are like, "Ooh, cool! I can cash in." Then that's what they're doing, and they'll just quit and be rich anyway. I mean, I have this whole weird idea: like, if you work for the government, all the money you make after it goes back to the government. Like, sorry, you make your salary and you're done. And I think I just smacked my own microphone, which was awesome. And that's good sound quality. I'm just like, Harry Truman, after he was president, went broke. So they were like, okay, the president gets his salary for life. They don't need the salary for life. Like Obama does one speech and he makes $500,000. They're set. But I think, do they need to be multi-millionaires? I don't know about that. And I'm just tired of people like being a senator and then being like a lobbyist and making millions of dollars.
That's what they do.
Just continuing a system that is, very unequal. Martha Stewart did get jailed. Yeah. See, look at that. Yeah. The chat room is useful sometimes.
Well, when she's in there, it's rarely useful, but that's neither here nor there.
Woo. You had Jeannie. Come on, Jeannie researched for a show. I just showed up and had beer.
I don't research anymore. I never have. Well, I used to research a little bit.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you had topics. I was like, man, I gotta like prepare to listen to your show.
I don't know. It's just too much effort. There's too much going on anyway. I don't need. I just talk about the shit that's. Like the speech last night. Did you see any of that?
Which speech is this?
The Trump speech that he gave or whatever in
Is that one of his like brown shirt rallies?
Yeah, yeah.
Where was he this time? Because I saw who was it, Sharon or something was going to be at. It was the one in. I get confused because I feel like atheist podcasters move around. Like I feel like somebody has moved into the secret lair in Pennsylvania when Scathing the Atheist moved out. So I have no idea. Everybody seems to be in Pennsylvania or New Jersey or somewhere in Georgia for some reason.
I'm trying to find it now.
Or Chicago, but who cares about Chicago, right, Deborah?
Yeah. Pennsylvania? Is that it?
Could be.
It's Pennsylvania somewhere, I think. No. It was Tampa. That's right. It was Tampa.
Tampa, really? Okay. Well, yeah, Florida.
Yeah.
A couple friends who live in Florida voted for him as like a joke, and they're like, "But Hillary's going to send us to war with Iran." Oh God.
Oh man, it was horrible. This fucking guy. Jesus God. He's going to start an all-out fucking assault on the goddamn press. I swear to God.
I just loved the tweet where he said, "I didn't collude. Hillary colluded, and moreover, collusion is not a crime." It's like he never colluded. Well, actually, collusion isn't a crime. They just keep like those goalposts they have like they're on Zambonis. They're just
mixed sport metaphor.
Ooh, mixed sports. Why not?
Yeah. I don't know the speech was his usual incoherent rambling. I'm sure you heard about the groceries and the.
Oh yeah, you need an ID to go grocery shopping.
Hey, it's Amy. That's all right. Amy Keel just joined us in the chat room. How's it going, Amy? She, of course, is one of the hosts of the Ginger Snaps podcast, which everybody should check out.
And a friend of mine on Untapped.
And mine. She's got some good taste. So.
She's got some good taste. I know.
So, thanks for joining us, Amy. We're just rambling about. I was just talking about the speech. I don't know if you can call it a speech. The rambling, incoherent, whatever, vomit, spew, logorrhea.
The guy can barely complete a sentence and is making all these major decisions. Yeah.
So he's just running his mouth. Of course, the grocery, the fucking. It's just so funny when he does that. It's like all his people have to back. Whoa! Wait a minute. Wait. What he meant to say was you need beer ID for alcohol. Alcohol. Sarah Huckabee
Like explaining a hate preacher when they talk,
Yeah, it's just so funny. I mean, well, it's pathetic is really what it is. But. And then he just makes shit up. It's not even. He was said that I have the best ratings since. Fucking, I don't even remember.
Best polling since like Abraham Lincoln. Oh my god, there were polls back then in the 1860s.
Oh, he has the best rating, ratings or whatever, not ratings, approval numbers for Hispanics ever, just ever, whatever. He just makes shit up. I don't, what are you gonna do? Jesus, yeah. But the only reason it was on because I was in a hotel room. I'm not gonna go any more into that. But anyway,
ooh, hotel room. Wait a second.
No.
Chris, this is Podunk After Dark, people. This is what you get for a Patreon.
Hashtag Podunk After Dark. Yeah. Yeah. So it's just. What can you say?
Mini bar, look at you.
And then they caught a picture of somebody flicking a bird at somebody press person taking a camera or taking a picture. I don't know if you saw the one I posted where somebody was holding up a baby.
I don't think he wasn't looking too happy.
Yeah. So. Amy says
we are going to do a Patreon goal. If you give us money, we will keep our shirts on. Otherwise,
no. Actually, if you ever watch Facebook karaoke,
oh well,
I've been topless plenty of times. So.
Plenty of times.
Usually late at night, usually when I'm drinking.
Yeah, I remember doing the karaoke for the first anniversary, and because of the Google Hangout thing, you were like a second behind, so I would try to like delay so that we were in sync, but really that would not have improved one of the worst karaoke performances ever, but we meant well.
Yeah, that's about all you can say.
Anytime you do Queen, it's pretty much,
Yeah, no.
You can't do justice for the original singer, so you might as well just be terrible.
I mean, Freddie Mercury.
You might as well. Is there any? I mean, I don't know. It's like, can the Democratic Party like cheat the way the Republican Party can? I mean, I was listening and got a little depressed by the latest Serious Inquiries Only, because he basically talked about how when W left office, he had like worse poll numbers than Trump has had at his best. And yet, 2 years after Obama got elected, landslide Republicans. Like, the Republicans have done terrible things, but the Democrats really haven't been progressive since 1968. I mean, they've kind of tried to move to the middle and it's never worked. But the Republicans never seem to do that. So, I don't know. Is there a way Democrats can just be in power and just do whatever they want? Not worry about it, because the Republicans are like, they're just trying to win. And like, they're going to break the rules and they're going to win. And they're going to get their Supreme Court people in and they're going to use the filibuster to their advantage. And they're going to do all this stuff. And it doesn't even matter that they haven't even won the majority in like a presidential election like once in the last 30 years. So, yeah.
I don't know.
Take advantage of the system. Gerrymander the fuck out of things, because the Supreme Court clearly is doesn't matter what you say anymore. It's going conservative.
Well, there has been some favorable rulings on gerrymandering, I have to say. So there's been some progress on that a little bit. I feel like now there's an effort for the next census headed by Obama, apparently, to do what the Republicans did with the last census and focus on local races to try to get the districts in their favor so they can gerrymander them. The problem is there needs to be like an independent system.
Yeah, the gerrymandering, it can go both ways. Like the argument I've heard is with the Supreme Court is like, well, if we get Congress back and we get the presidency back, then just add a bunch of Supreme Court seats. And then when the Republicans are in power, they'll add a bunch of seats. It's like it can go both ways. I mean, that's one thing that happened. And there's a podcast called The Wilderness, and it's about like the Democratic Party and like how it just during the Obama presidency, whether it's because he was a black guy or because they didn't pay attention, the Republicans just took over a lot of local elections. That's why you see In God We Trust appearing in a lot of local places, because they have like, I mean, in Georgia is like this super majority. There are very few Democrats, if any. Probably Tennessee's similar, and many other states are similar. But they have this small base, and then it goes all the way up.
Well, the problem is in the state legislatures, they're split up in districts, and the only districts, there's the minority of districts are in the big city areas. So you're always going to have a majority of Republicans because most of the districts are in rural areas, and we already know what that means, right? It's automatically red, even though they're voting against their self-interest, which is a whole nother thing. However, you can get some traction on the federal level if the senators and maybe the House could do it. Maybe governor, we've gotten Democratic governors here, so it just depends. I don't know what we're going to do about the local stuff, though. I don't.
It's still weird to think that in 1976, a Democrat, Jimmy Carter from Georgia, won the presidency, and then they were like, you know what? We need to vote in like a second-rate actor to be president. There we go. I had a coworker named his kid after Reagan, and I'm like, oh man,
what the fuck?
No. Oh, he thinks Reagan's like the greatest thing ever.
Jesus.
You did obviously, well, didn't read much. he was like very much like the original, like only white guys who have property should vote. I really think that was the way he was going.
Yeah, if you keep any track of his history, he was always like conservative or whatever. I know he was head of the Screen Actors Guild, and then of course got into politics. He was governor of California when you were still. Well, you can do that now. Republicans are different in California.
Yeah, that was my favorite moment of Reagan. The Black Panthers went to the state Senate and they had guns, and all of a sudden, oh, let's get some restrictions on guns because black people have them.
Love it.
The panic that happened. Wait, that's all the citizens can have guns? Are you sure about that? We might need to. Yeah,
that's what we got to do that now. Arm the black people now, and let's do the same. Since we want gun control. Give black people the guns, and the same thing will fucking these white people will go crazy. Oh my god, black people with guns. Yeah, they need the protection. Getting shot by cops all the fucking time, jeez. Or stand your ground, crazy white people.
Well, I don't know. According to contrarians, more white people get shot. Which, when people say that, like more white people get shot by cops, I'm like, well, then why aren't you for police not being so brutal instead of going anti-Black Lives Matter? That seems like a natural thing. If too many people are being killed by cops, white, black, whatever, is that a problem? Or no, it's only a problem when it's white people. It seems like the men's right activists who only are saying things just to shut up feminists and not actually do anything. But that's the way I can angle my way into getting a speaking spot at MythCon, and that's not happening.
Oh, have they already announced the lineup? Or, yeah, they have.
I do want to get some people on there because there's some people I've had on my show who are not of the center lord variety who'd be interested to talk to. And Karen Garst is going to be there. Godless Mom from Canada. And Chrisiosity, who always talks about how she's like a small YouTuber. I'm like, yeah, you only have like 20 times the subscribers I do, so you're small. I get that, you know.
Well,
but in the YouTube world, like all these people I look at that are like going to MythCon, they have like 1 million followers. I'm like, I don't get it. Like people who don't research their positions and just say where the hell they feel like are really popular.
no, you have to say it in a certain way. You have to be an angry white man.
Be angry white something, yes.
Or yeah, just angry white. That's all it takes, man. And you just can't ever give in. You can't ever fucking admit you're wrong. Never, no matter what.
Wait, white people with guns in Vermont? Dang, man. I thought we were safe somewhere.
They're fine white, but they're, you know.
Does Bernie have a gun?
Probably shit. Yeah, so MythCon, did you see the there's a panel on has intersectionality gone too far or something like that. And it's all white guys.
So very much yeah.
Or something.
Sometimes when I look at the guests I have on my show, it's very pale and male, so I see I'm part of the problem too. That's the way it goes. So is that a really like super licoricey stout or not so much? Because that's the flavor in stout.
I don't know. Because the problem is you taste it, I don't. So I can't tell you.
You don't taste it, huh? You don't tell the difference between different stouts? Do you have like a favorite? Do you like the what's the one that's like the Russian guy that I think I brought to you?
Theosophus.
Well, there was one that was locally made at
I remember that.
But it was
that was at
it was one out of California. It was the guy who was like the religious guy who had the czar in Russia, and then he had to be shot like 15 times.
Are you talking about old Rasputin?
Yeah, old Rasputin. That's the one. Yeah. Look at Amy. Amy's got it.
I love me some old Rasputin.
Anytime it gets to the raspy, old raspy.
Old raspy.
Like $9 for a 4-pack. It's like a bargain, man. Come on, it's good stuff.
I love it all the much. I love it.
I just want to know what is in a stout that gives it that licorice flavor, just because I just don't like that part.
Satan's butthole.
That's
and if it is,
no, man.
I'm eating the shit out of some Satan's butthole. Am I right, girl? Okay.
With the hearts.
And maybe that's gonna be the name of the episode, Satan's butthole.
Why did we, man? See, I bring the chat room to you.
So yeah, have you ever had Devil's Backbone Danzig?
I haven't heard of that one.
It's a smoked. Well, it's a Baltic porter.
It's smoked, yeah.
That's some good shit.
Some German style beer.
It's like
signals. Hey y'all. Lefty, righty. Either way, it's all good in the neighborhood. By the time they listen to you, exactly. We should listen to you more often.
It's about time they listen to you. Oh, we listen to Amy. We just don't listen to your ass. But anyway, well, I don't personally. Yeah, no. It's like Sue, kind of. So
yeah, Sue does definitely have some bitterness to it.
That's what it is.
About stouts. Stouts do have some bitter, but I'm okay with bitter, like a bitter chocolate, but like super hoppy is just never.
I can't. No, if it's IPA bitter, nope. You can keep that.
And the one style of beer that doesn't make any sense to me is like the milkshake IPA. So they put like this lactose in it to kind of make it creamy. It's almost like a nitro thing. But then they do like a sweet beer, but it's an IPA. It's like, I'm going to drink some orange juice right after I brush my teeth. That's the flavor combination. But people go insane over that stuff. If I have sweet, I just want it to be sweet. And there's probably something, wrong with my taste buds, but I do tend to lean toward the sweet when it comes to the beer.
No. That's why I can't. Well, so I don't want to.
Should I check the room? Say, should I look in my beer fridge, see what I have, just for fun, just see what we got?
All right,
talk amongst yourself.
It's just we have to be on Zach's. We can't have Zach on without seeing his beer. Drum
The
roll.
problem is they have this prairie bomb. I don't know if you ever had it. One of the key ingredients to it is a cinnamon, and no, I just don't do that anymore.
No, that's cinnamon. No, I can't do cinnamon.
Yeah, that's a bomber. I can't have that. It's too much. So we got this fluffy otter. It's
Fluffy. Oh no, just put it
oatmeal cream stout with marshmallow and vanilla. The problem is it does have kind of an bitterish aftertaste.
Let me see. What's the ABV on it?
What is that? Huh. 7%.
Mm.
This is actually
I might try
this is
it.
a good finisher. Coconut porter from Cherry Street.
Nope.
It's good. Nope.
I can't take coconut.
Really?
Nope.
Huh. I'm sorry to hear that.
Peanut butter is good if you ever have a Victory at Sea. Peanut butter.
What was the one that was? I think it was Sweet Baby Jesus. That was like out of Baltimore, and it was like a peanut butter. Oh yeah, it's just a great sound, isn't it? Ooh, exploded. Oh shit.
Oh, well, that's what she said. Am I right? All right.
I mean, look at that. Whoa.
What is that you just? That's way too well. That's too much. Never too much head, but on a beer, that's too much head.
That's something. Cherry Street is like a brewery that's just outside of the city, and I think it actually won like a gold medal for best brewery. It has some good stuff. Their beers tend to explode though. If you don't keep them at the same temperature, they do. They had a cherry limeade one, which wasn't as good as I wanted it to be.
Because it can be. What?
But no. What I do like in beers is when they do the 4-pack, they do 16 ounce. So, it's close. Because if you do a 4-pack and it's just 12 ounces, you feel a little cheated. But that's what they do in Beerland, Yeah. I was just talking to Andy this week, and she's a beer person, so that was fun. Just to annoy Jeannie, I wanted to talk first about beer. We're like, screw that religion talk. Let's just talk about beer. Because she brought beer for the For Wrath crew at last year's ReasonCon. And I already told her that this year, if ReasonCon happens, and I know you're got issues with ReasonCon, but if ReasonCon happens next year,
they got an issue with me.
I think I might have to spend a day before in Asheville because they have
I want to go to
number of great breweries, and I only got to like 2 when I was there.
I might go with you for that part.
I just happened to like go into what I thought was a bar, and it was actually a brewery, and they had some good stuff. But yeah, I mean, I went to the New Belgium one is there, and it's like right on the water. Although the beer they sold was actually kind of expensive when I compared to like prices in Atlanta. It was like, when you go to the brewery, they should have cheaper prices, right? But that's not the case.
Mm-mm. Yeah, they got a lot of good breweries there.
But yeah, other than their issue with sound quality, waiting for quality people. I think I had 2 of the 4 hosts on my show a while back, so I need to get the other 2. I think Jennifer just acquired a new cat, so we should have cat talk.
Cats, yeah.
Because like half of your Facebook feed is cat memes. Knows that.
I love cats. But it's not just any cat memes. Now, yes, there are fluffy, beautiful, cute kittens, but there's also sometimes a little snark with the cats. So it's not all fun and games.
So what is your current pet situation? What do you got?
3 cats, technically not mine, actually, but 3 cats and a dog.
Technically not yours, huh?
It's an interesting situation. 3 cats and a chihuahua. Which technically the chihuahua.
So who runs the house? Who's like
I'd
on
rather
top of that?
Just
not you, obviously.
Trust me, it's a weird situation. But anyway,
so we need to get you the shirt, Crazy Cat Dad.
Yeah, I essentially have 3 cats. Well, 2 cats. The other one doesn't pay anything. That's in somebody else's cat.
So you're like a spinster, man.
If I could, I want to work at like a cat rescue or something. Me and Jeff Prebig talked about.
They have a place in town that's like a cat cafe, but it's such like they should have a cat bar.
Yes, they have one here. They just opened. Well, it's not just open.
There is like a Twitter account. I can't remember what it's called, but it's mainly just pictures of cats that live in breweries. So it's for the most part cats inside like cases of beer because it's,
no. I need you to tell me
Cats, was it Cat's Brewery or something? I don't know.
I'm gonna need you to find out because I need cats in beer things.
Cats and beer things.
That's the best of both worlds, man. Cats
Yeah.
and beer. Gotta have it.
Cats on Tap is your ultimate guide to every brewery cat in the country.
All right.
I don't know why. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm going to go to this brewery because they have a cat.
I would. I totally would.
Put it in the chat room just for fun.
I wonder if it's in Facebook. Cats on Tap.
But there is a. I've seen people with, like the beer glasses, and it's like beer cats or something. It's called
Tap Cats. No,
that's cats.
That's tap dancing. I don't want. There's an event called Cats on Tap. That's interesting.
That was weird.
Anyway,
I guess you're not allowed to put web addresses in chat on
for fuck's sake.
YouTube. I don't know why.
Is it a Twitter?
I'll send it to your
send it to
Facebook thing.
Messenger.
There are other ways to skin a cat, as they say.
Oh no, really. Sir. Nope.
Okay. I saw a mention Jeannie did of Buffy. Did you ever? I think you were the one who said you never watched. You just watched like Firefly. I was just wondering because you're a sensitive man. Joss Whedon, who's the creator of Buffy, basically turned out to be a creep.
Mm-hmm.
Like hit on every woman in his shows because he was like the nerdy guy. And now they're doing like a reboot of Buffy, but he's like in there, and it's like. So someone who has that history, but they're a creative person and they do shows that we like, did they get a pass? Should they maybe, should there be some kind of apology involved?
Oh boy.
Because like him and his wife, they were really close and that turned he cheated, and then she just did this big article about how he's just a big cheater and,
this is an argument I had actually Atheist at the Pub, which was last weekend. Actually.
Oh.
And it was
no. Okay.
Yeah. I got arguing with somebody about Louis C.K.
I feel like anytime someone who's problematic gets to speak or do a show, I'm like, do you think there's someone who's not problematic who could do just as good of a job, if not better? Like, is Lawrence Krauss the only person who can talk about physics? Seriously? That's the only guy. No one else can do it.
Yeah, there's nothing particularly special.
There's not like a list of 50 guys, white males, who talk about skepticism that we could probably say who haven't been accused of being an ass.
What about all the
find some?
What about all the women he's held down? Because
I was like, the women who could do stories too, and not just we're gonna do Ghostbusters with women, like actual from a female point of view, not just like, we're ticking off the box and saying, okay, you get a turn to do the same crap that the men have done. Do something better.
Yeah, I mean, think about how many women have been put on this. I'm actually reading a book called Inferior about women in science and why, in general, but in science, especially in STEM fields, they are discouraged basically from being in STEM fields because of the way men treat them. And there are probably brilliant minds out there that have never achieved anything because dickheads like him have fucking discouraged them from doing anything because men are shit. Oh, I'm sorry, men are trash, which you're not allowed to say on Facebook because you'll get fucking. I get kicked off for that shit.
I saw that people have been kind of booted, and some people have had to create like a secondary Facebook account so they can keep going when they've been suspended.
I did.
I've never been suspended. I don't even really try. Well, I mainly only post to my Zachrilege Cast page. I forget that I have a regular page that there's a bit of a wide variety of people on there that may not care about, non-religious stuff. But yeah, I've never been booted.
I have a couple. I did because of that for 24 hours.
But I think it's funny when like people, they get that birthday message and then you get birthday messages for them and their like alternate account. Like, oh, that's when you get kicked out. Good to know.
Yeah.
And some of them are the exact same name. I don't really understand how that works. I created like a Zachrilege Facebook account and then I never really activated it. So I was like, seriously, do I need two identities? I have two Twitters, but damn, do I really need
I used to have the other one. Chris Seethan Heathen. I gave that up about a year ago.
You still a seething heathen?
No, I gave it.
You stop being seething?
No, I'm seething. I don't really the heathen part.
Well, what is it like in the real world? I know I'm asking you questions in your own show, but that's what I do. So I had Jeff on my show, and Jeff has started, some free thought groups in Pittsburgh, which is an inferior city to Nashville, clearly, except in hockey. Oops, too soon.
Fuck you.
What's it like? I mean, is it nice to actually get to meet people in person? Because I don't really do that very much. I tend to just do it on YouTube.
What?
Doing your Atheist on Tap. Well, obviously, beer's involved.
Oh,
Probably cool.
Yeah. It's interesting. The thing about it is, it's not really. I call it that, but it's not even. I just use it as a almost an arbitrary point to get people together of common interest. We don't even talk about that. Well, now we happen to talk about a little bit at the last one, but it was more about people coming out of religion.
Grumpers.
The fuck? How old are you again? Who
said you're seething heathen?
Oh, you don't seethe, you're just grumpy.
Everybody has the
angry
thing going. Good news is, white male, I'm okay. It's cool. I can be angry and it's fine.
Yeah, angry white guys are fine. It's angry black guys you're not allowed to do, obviously. Because, Anyway, so yeah, we talked about somebody coming out of religion. But I don't think we hardly ever talk about atheism because it's boring. Oh, actually, I said that to him, like, yeah, let's talk about atheism. There's no God. The end. Okay.
Yeah.
Move on.
I mean, you really do need to have something else. Like, you can maybe talk about if you were raised religious or if you have religious family members, and there is kind of a limit to it. Like, I was thinking, talking to Andy this week, and how, like, she says some family members know that she's an atheist, but she'll try to, like, talk to them and debate with them, and after a certain point they know they can't defeat her in combat, so it's not going to work. Like, my parents know I'm an atheist. They know I do a podcast.
Oh!
We don't talk about that anymore.
I remember at one point you said they did not know, and I didn't know you'd ever.
Yeah, I told them that I did I told my mom I was an atheist after the first Reason Con. I told my parents I did a show after the first NanoCon, and it was dead silence, and that was pretty much it. and it was fun hanging out with them, and then my other family members, a sister and brother-in-law, who are in a much more strict Catholic faith than they are, and they're just talking about church, like NBD. That's just what they do, and it's like, okay,
NBD,
no big deal. It's like, it's just what people do. You go to church and you volunteer at, like, the gift shop, and you help them make money, and you don't think about what they actually do. And my parents, like, actually volunteer. They do, like, communion for people who are, like, in the hospital and stuff, and I kind of wonder how that works. Like, I did ask my mom once, like, do you really think it's like Christ? She's like, it's a symbolic thing. Okay, at least you don't think it's really the body of a human who may not existed.
Yeah, transubstantiation or whatever. But is giving communion that? I mean, I guess maybe you could argue that it's just seeing somebody who's sick. I guess the companionship part. Giving communion seems completely fucking pointless to me.
I mean, I think going and spending time with people in need who might not have somebody, I think that's a good thing. Although my parents do the Catholic thing where the adults come in and they, like, learn how to be Catholics. I kind of, like, almost want to go to these classes and go, what exactly do you teach them? Like,
abuse children? I mean, is that what happens?
Probably not. Probably not. I mean, for me, it feels like it's community. Like,
yeah,
both sets of parents on both sides of the family have joined churches later in life, and it's a big social thing for them. And they've had to switch. Like, I've had, friends who are like, they're going to a Baptist church now because their kid likes it, but then they're going to switch to Presbyterian. And I'm like, is there a difference? Like, do you know what, like, I mean, that's the show that I think might be interesting, is to have different versions of Christians talk to each other and debate about what they actually believe, to like see that you aren't this monolith, that you actually are these little tiny groups, and to pretend you're this one thing. Like, you know, they are what atheists really are, because atheists can't get together on anything, it seems. Christians don't really agree in a lot, but for some reason, when it comes to the ballot box, they're able to do it. And
yeah,
can we do that? Can we say, okay, hey, for this one thing, you know, the Supreme Court seat, can we all get together and just vote one way?
Well, you can thank the moral majority for that bullshit. They're the ones that brought everything.
Thank you,
Jerry Falwell, whatever. Yeah, that big block was all joined together by his punk ass. So yeah, we could have like a no coalition, I guess, none coalition or something. I don't know. We need something. I don't know, man. Tribalism is a bitch, but that's happening in the atheism.
I see people turning on each other about seemingly minor differences, and then they're just like, they were best friends and now they hate each other, and it's, wait, how did this happen? I mean, I think it's okay to disagree on some things. It's just like, what's really, really important? What do we want to do?
Yeah, I mean, having been a victim of things, we'll just say.
A victim of things.
I'll just say that there are certain issues that are no-goes in general for me. And that's denying people's rights, denying people's existence, actively advocating for basically people to be non-human, you know, not people, you know, racism, misogyny, that kind of shit. Those are no-goes for me. I mean, but there's some nuance to be had in some things. I don't necessarily believe like there are extreme SJW positions. Let's just be honest about it. I mean, sometimes.
Well, it does, in a way, the conservative Republicans were like, crap, we lost on gay people, so now let's go after trans people. It's like, now, like, the bathroom thing was an issue. Then it's like, you can't be in the military. And then you're like taking people's passports away. And
yeah,
it's like, why does this affect your life? Exactly. Like, all the people were like, oh, gay people are bad. It's like, well, you're not gay, so why do you care?
Well, this is what I'm afraid of.
Does it even technically say in the Bible you can't be gay? It's just, I don't know.
And even
it's all up to interpretation.
Yeah, I mean, if you, in the same fucking book, you got shit saying you can't wear mixed fabric and can't eat shellfish, and
I'm for that. Eat shellfish, go to hell.
Yeah, I don't like shellfish. And if you're on your period, you got to go by yourself for a week and shit. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, it's not so pro women, although some ways, the way, if you go to like atheist groups, it's always pale and male, right? Because someone's got to take care of the kids. So in a way, it's like, do we treat women better?
Oh no. There's, and we've seen this come out. We've seen this come out a lot more, obviously, because Me Too. But there's a fuck ton of misogyny in
a lot of popular men in the atheist community. Pretty much think that this is like, oh, I get to go to different towns and have sex with anybody I want to, and pretty much, oh, I wasn't popular in high school, and now I get to be popular, and I'm just gonna go for it. And when it's consensual, sure, fun times. But when someone's like, then, you know, maybe listen to that.
That's the mildest way. Maybe listen to that. Maybe not be a rapist. You know,
maybe not be a rapist.
Just, I mean,
wow, now that's you know, stop being uncivil, Chris. You got to be civil.
Oh yeah,
when you call people rapists.
Yeah. Make sure, and it's usually white guys that say that shit too. White atheist dude bros. You're not being rational, sir.
Dude bros.
I'm going to fucking ignore everything you say because you said fuck. Go fuck yourself. I mean, like Sam Harris's punk ass. Oh, I'm sorry. I got to talk about Sam Harris.
I know.
Help myself.
You made it like 55 minutes. I don't know. Like
I can't. Did you hear the latest?
The whole like horseman thing is like, yeah, eventually anybody who's like popular, I don't know what this is. Like you have an area where you're an expert, and then you become this like public figure, and then you just say whatever the hell you want to, and it's not backed up by anything. And that seems to be what's happening with Sam Harris. And of course, some guy in Canada who has a Kermit the Frog voice gets treated this way too. It's like, you're not even an expert on this stuff. Why are you talking about it? Like, yeah, Sam Harris and race, clearly that seems to be a bit of a trouble spot.
Stay in your fucking lane. Stay in your lane, motherfucker. God damn. Go
At least
talk
I know
about fucking neuroscience or what the fuck you're doing. Quit bringing up, like, I had to listen to it. He had some guy named Coleman Hughes or Hughes Coleman, whatever the fuck his name was. Some black.
What the fuck his name was?
Hughes Coleman is a injury lawyer in Nashville. Isn't it? That's why I keep getting.
So the guy in Sam Harris has to have been invited to
he invited him.
All right.
Oh yeah, all right. He's a black guy, right? So he finds any black dude that agrees with his shit. Of course, he's got to have him on, right? So he has this guy on. He wrote a couple of pieces in Quillette, which I've heard of. I don't.
Well, that sounds pretty terrible. Like,
I don't want to.
Pretty much right wing, but we're kind of atheist. But
yeah, this guy, he's like an undergraduate at Columbia or something, and he wrote some articles in this. And he's coming on the typical what you would expect from if Sam Harris agrees with it. It's, white people are not that bad, weren't that complicit. Black people didn't build them, weren't built on, this country wasn't built in the backs of black people. Whatever. But they talk shit about Ta-Nehisi Coates, and you done fucked up. You done fucked up now. Harris called him a race pornographer.
Yeah, I heard that, and I was like,
what does that even mean?
What is that? Yeah, exactly. What does that mean? Well, how many people does Sam Harris make, like, 6 figures a month, like, in Patreon for his podcast?
Oh, he does. I haven't looked.
It's got to be.
I don't think it's Patreon.
It's amazing, like,
There's money to be made talking like Jordan Peterson's punk ass.
When you listen to like Scathing Atheist and make a joke about small audiences, and it's like, man, I wish that was my audience size. That's the way it goes with the higher listened to shows. Like, oh wow.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, he had this guy on. I listened to 2 hours of it, so you didn't have to. So it's what you would expect. You can go read the last article. That Coleman Hughes. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, good luck.
Coleman Hughes wrote on Quillette.
Was Quillette the one that sued the Southern Poverty Law Center? There was some.
I don't know. I've heard
either ex-Muslim or like liberal Muslim guy like sued them and got a bunch of money because they called him a hate group, and he's like, I'm not a hate group. It's like, it's these lawsuits to make sure these groups that are surviving on shoestring budgets don't.
It's Majid Nawaz is who it is.
As long as, because the right wingers will definitely flock to you if you're,
well, this guy
and say things they agree with.
This guy Majid
Nawaz things about race too.
He actually wrote a book with Sam Harris. I don't know if anybody knows about that. He was part of some gang, some I don't want to say Arabic, but some gang in London or something. He's like extremist Muslim or something, but he's still kind of an asshole. And so he's
kind of an asshole, yeah.
He's getting on stage. Have you heard this Pang Burn philosophy shit that's popped up doing shows everywhere? They're hosting shows everywhere. And one show is him, Douglas Murray.
Oh.
Yeah, and Sam Harris. And
of course.
Sure, I don't know. It's just like the intellectual dark web tour. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is.
It's so weird that like every generation seems like they have to make the same argument about race, and like these arguments keep coming back, and it's like, can't we just, I mean, it's almost like when they have the biblical scholars, like, can't you guys agree at least like around when these things were written and like what the original version looked like, so we can have like a baseline? And then no, because if we don't have a baseline, then we can kind of say whatever we want. And these semi-conservative centrist types can rake in the bucks. And I'm like, oh man, anyone who's on the left, I should probably be supporting a little more, because they don't seem to get the Koch brothers money like Dave Rubin seems to get. And it's like pretending to be liberal and then to say you're fighting against this liberal thing just because it's popular now. It's easier to be mean. There's just a lot of mean voices out there, and they don't have to have any kind of real backing from any kind of like scientific thing, anything.
I don't know. You know what? Charles Koch now is talking about he's tired of Republicans, so he's going to start backing some Democrats. He's going to start backing some Democrats. Let me find one of those motherfuckers.
I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah,
she's already. I heard Heidi Heitkamp, whatever the fuck her name is, North Dakota, I think it is. He's already talking about he likes some of her shit. And she made a point of saying, "Dude, we got nothing to do with him. Give us some money. Nothing to do. Give us some money behind the back. Give me."
Wait, who's the guy? George Soros. Why is there only one like left wing guy who makes a lot of money? Like, we learned that Elon Musk gives a bunch of money to like anyone who's rich. Every NFL owner gives money to right wing people. They always give money to right wing people. We need at least two.
No, it's
only one.
He's Jewish.
I know what Soros just is like a boogeyman. I don't even know if he is still like alive. Is he being held up like a puppet for people?
Yeah, that's.
Oh no! When he was 8 years old during World War II, he was taking money from the Jews.
I bet you he's Jewish too, so they got to make sure to have that kind
Everybody
of.
joked like when they did like the women's march, like, I want my Soros check. Where's my Soros check? I'm supposed to be getting money.
You got to go on YouTube and watch some of these anti-Soros videos. It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
I mean, the women's march maybe a little problematic because of Linda Sarsour being like, I'm a Muslim, but I'm a feminist. It's like, I don't know if that is a thing. I mean, you can pretend, but okay. I don't know. You can be a supporter of a thing, but it's like, well, ultimately that.
I don't know. I mean, that's one of those things where I'm not going to shit on an entire movement because you had one person that was problematic. I mean, I don't like people. Of course, women wandering around with vagina hats is obviously sort of trans exclusionary or whatever, I mean, and that's an issue, I think.
Such a damn SJW, man. It's just giving SJW.
Hey, wait a minute. I'm sort of SJ. But
you're sort of.
On some things, I'm just like, come on, calm down, guys. It's a little bit much, I mean, I can say that now. I couldn't say that before. I'm like,
well, come on, if you could say you're not a feminist and you're an egalitarian, then I might, I could see where you're coming from.
Oh, no.
I've seen that argument.
No.
It's
that's
like two things that mean the same thing, but one basically means the other thing is lesser. Okay.
That's a hard pass on that.
I'm pretty sure a white male was the one who sent me that thing. Like, no, I'm egalitarian. Okay.
You know who said egalitarian the first time I heard it? Voda. He's the first person I heard saying that. That's why I said he ain't never been. He says, I say right up front before you offend me if you're a woman, I'm an egalitarian. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Oh, you get to fuck chicks regardless of how they feel about it. I see. Okay. Yeah. Asshole.
There's still issues there. You got to work that out. Get him on your show. Come on.
No, I'm going to have Matthew the Apostle come on my show, actually.
Huh.
Because he still has a hard on for me after 3 fucking years. He comes in your chat room talking shit. Come on my chat room, talk that shit, motherfucker.
Yeah, every once in a while I go back and forth with them. And yeah, there's some people that even now, after you've known them for a while, you're like, I don't know if I'm with you or not. I can't really tell. Like occasionally you seem to be a little questionable, but yeah, go ahead. But you know what? If someone's questionable and you still want to have a beer with them, that's not a bad thing.
I
And I
guess.
still feel that way. I'm going to be in Nashville a few times this fall. I'm going to Titans games, but
I'm
that's not
questionable.
every day. So I'm just saying,
I'm
that'd be an
questionable.
opportunity for beverages.
I'm a questionable
And
guy.
honestly, the way like NFL's going, I'm like, I'd rather just be at home drinking my own beer and not going to a stadium where
I don't know if I want to go to any games because I might sit down during the play or whatever.
I feel like the national anthem.
And I don't know how that's going to play. So
It's not going to play, and I feel sad. Like I want NFL stadiums to be more like when I've gone to the professional soccer one here, where they do their own chants and they come up with their own cheers. And then the NFL stadium, you have to go what they tell you to do.
fuck that.
You can't have a personality. I think that's the thing that makes me a little bit about that. Still.
So here will be my compromise. I will be sitting down up in one of the things, having a beer when it happens. I guess. Because it seems like doing that's performative almost. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the only thing is they used to have a place at the Titan Stadium where they'd have like local beer, and then I went back the next year and they didn't.
They haven't.
Just like they didn't have anything that was any good, so I'll just drink before, so I can tailgate, and that's a beautiful thing. So I'll do that.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll make it work. I still want to enjoy sports. That's just the state of sports. As long as you're like a conservative, then you can kind of say things. But if you don't go with the thing, I mean, look at the team in the NFL that had the most protesters. They won the Super Bowl, the Eagles, and they also beat the Patriots, whose owner basically gave Donald Trump a Super Bowl ring. He didn't give Obama a Super Bowl ring, by the way.
I wonder why that
Putin stole one of them. So Putin and Trump have a Patriots Super Bowl ring, which is a great story.
Oh, that's another.
So if you think any team is American, not them.
There is not an American team left, I don't think.
I know.
It ain't the Cowboys.
That's okay. Predators, right?
Sure. And
Other
even though
than your namesake, oh no,
I got to get rid of it. I can't wear the jersey now. I got to get a new one. So.
That's terrible. Like, you're not wearing a jersey. I'm like, am I sure? Am I talking to the right person here?
I got to go buy. I have to go buy a good one. I have to go buy one of the fucking expensive ones because the other ones will give out too easy. So I got to find another thing now. I can't use my own last name. He's tainted it. He's tainted my name.
I know. You should get one that says Podunk. Get a Podunk personalized. Get it done in China. Trump does that. It's cool. It's all right. It's fine.
You made me think that. What would be the number, though?
I don't know. Can you get a 666? You don't think you can get 3 numbers?
No, I've seen people do it themselves like that. No. 55 is usually my go-to.
An extra 6.
But we'll see. Maybe I'll figure out 74. I don't know. We'll see. Podunk's a good idea, though. I like that.
It was a very good year.
Yep. Okay, calm down.
No singing.
Nope. All right, Zach. Well,
I know we've done an hour, I think.
But that may not be the end of it. But that's the end of the broadcast version, anyway. So after dark, yeah. So do you want to?
They do have that team, and Jeannie mentioned it. So it's the St. Paul Saints, but they had a day every year called the St. Paul Aints, and they had the atheist community there. I need to get one of those shirts because it's cool that they did that inclusive thing. 42, the meaning of life, or something.
Oh yeah, the meaning of life.
I'm gonna stop trying to make sense because it
it
hasn't happened yet.
No, that's I don't have to. If I have to explain it, you don't deserve to know about it.
Correct.
So anyway, plug your shit or whatever.
Well, it's the Zachrilege Cast, and at least in the past few months, I haven't been having people on my show like a week after they're on Podunk Polymath. Yeah, interviews are a week. Occasionally, just civilians. Sometimes people do blogs and shows and such, but I've been trying to shrink the interview to about 45 minutes, but sometimes they go a little longer. But yeah, I try to do a show every week. It's not at the same time. It doesn't always pop up at the same time, but I've been pretty good at that lately. So yeah, at Zachrilege on Twitter, and then Zachrilege Cast. Look it up YouTube, and then wherever good or maybe not as good, but I mean well, podcasts are found.
Hey, I'm on iHeart.
You and David Smalley.
Shut the fuck up. Don't ever say my name with his ever again. He's a comedian. He's an important comedian.
Someone who is considered to be such a cornerstone guy in the community, and now everybody's like, who?
I didn't really ever like him really anyway, but anyway, that's a whole different. I'm glad you reminded me about Jeff, because he said, like, yeah, I was on Zach's show.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have Zach on, and then you're going to have me on the week after that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're just going to be talking hockey for like an hour.
No, cats. Probably cats.
Cats and hockey. The refs screwed us. Those ours.
I don't even want to talk about that. You were there. You saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, okay. I'm going to calm down.
It was heartbreaking, although I do have the T-shirt because I am from Pittsburgh and family sends it to me.
Fucking traitor. Anyway, Jeff is going to be on the next one, which is... What's tomorrow? What's Saturday? 11th.
2 days.
Well, I know, but what date? No, the 10th.
Today's the 2nd, so yeah.
I think it's the 10th. Fuck, I don't remember. I have to look. Anyway, I'll do an event thing for it. But I'm glad that you mentioned it, because it reminds me of him doing his Extra Life thing, which I'll plug all that.
Oh, yeah. I want him to get a damn tattoo, so let's do it. And what about the charity thing you're doing? What about your charity?
Okay, well, let me do his first. It's jeffprebig.com. Is that what it is? I think that's his website or whatever.
Extra Life.
Yeah, Extra Life. Something about, I don't quite you game for
gamers who don't hate women. It's very confusing.
We'll
go with it.
Go look to his page. Give him money. I don't know. But I'm doing a fundraiser for Launchpad, which is a organization here in Nashville that helps LGBT youth, homeless youth, to get, shelter and clothing, stuff like that. And I'm surprised, actually, because I've already got $460 out of $500 I set the goal, and it's only been fucking July 30th is when I did it. So it's like 3 days or something, 3 or 4 days.
I know.
And this thing's
popular than you know.
It's supposed to be going on for another 3 weeks. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. I haven't even given yet because I'm fucking broke. But anyway, next paycheck I will be. But I didn't expect it to take off that quick. Somebody gave $250. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Nice.
So I'm really I'm actually very humbled by that. I think it's really cool that people are, because it is important. I personally think it's an important cause to give to or whatever. So if you have any spare money, $5, $10, $1, I don't give a shit. Go check out my fundraiser. You can go to my, I put it on Podunk page. I think I did. It's under my name, but it's public anyway, so you can go look it up. If not, I'll put it up again on the show notes, whatever. Anyway, yeah. So if you can give, go ahead and do that, or tell people, or share it, or whatever you can do. I appreciate it. And if you're a patron, use the money for this month and go do it with that. I don't know. It's more important. Anyway, let me go ahead and do my little in-spiel here. So we know that the music's by ... Dash. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I feel bad about this. I never actually bought their album. I swear to God, I got to go do that. Go cdbaby.com/cd/... Go check them out. Of course, the logo, new and improved, is by Jeff Prebig, who will be on the show next time. At Atheist, you can check out the show at facebook.com/SpotonPolymath. Email at podunk.polymath@gmail.com. YouTube, the Podunk Polymath Go Figure. Google Plus. Is that even a thing anymore? I don't know. The Podunk Polymath. Patreon.com. Guess what? / the Podunk Polymath. Call in phone number 617-615-378 Call anybody. Zach.
Is that Colapopo? Is that what you say?
7676 spells Popo. I specifically look for that just for you. So call the number. Somebody call the number. Do something. If you want to join the Facebook group, which I hardly post. Nobody takes any initiative. But anyway, go to facebook.com/group/the Podunk Polymath Podcast Posse. I'm not going to do it again, so fuck you. Okay. The online store is at Zazzle.com, Podunk_Polymath. Of course, if you go on the sidebar, you can see my tweets. You can follow me on Twitter from there too. PayPal, donate, subscribe on RSS, Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher. There's a Patreon button. You can like my Facebook page, which is at 337, which isn't bad. I lost some likes during the Great Shunning, but we won't go there. And
still
of course,
like 200 more than me, so you can shut the boop up.
Shut the fuck up is what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Recent posts and recent comments. Zach, sir, I appreciate you coming on. Taking time out of your busy schedule. To make
try.
But it's been fun. It's been real. It's been real fun, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah.
We'll meet again someday.
Someday. All right, y'all.
I'll make sure of a Lagunitas for you or whatever.
Until next time, y'all take it easy now, okay?